In Las Vegas, every player believes that they're one hand away from changing everything. Tonight, there's no bluffing and no second chances. The mistakes have been made, the lessons have been learned. Now it's win or go home. Welcome inside the luxurious M Resort Spa Casino in Henderson, Nevada, where the TBT knockout rounds are officially underway as the Mecca squares off against Knueppel crew. Hello everybody, my name's Christian Filliman, better known as Philly, alongside Wisconsin Badger legend Jordan Taylor. The group stages are officially behind us. Now we get into the knockout rounds. After tonight, one of these two teams is going to carry on with their dream of winning $2 million, while the other team, like many of us, will leave Las Vegas empty-handed.
Well, I don't know about you, Philly, but I plan on leaving Vegas with something. Might not be $2 million, but I can tell you this is going to be a fun game to watch tonight. Two contrasting styles, although both teams want to play up-tempo. They will battle for the right to get to go to either Lexington, Topeka, or Wichita. It's going to be a fun game here tonight.
Fun game, absolutely. Two teams that have had really impressive performances here under the bright lights of Henderson. Let's take a look at some of those highlights from some of those teams and some of those aforementioned players, starting off with the Mecca.
Yeah, we talked about the contrasting styles. Everybody plays up-tempo now. When you play up-tempo, you need a guard. And Casper Ware is one of the best in the tournament. Been doing it for a long time. Big body, get downhill, right hand. And then you mix it with the big Steven Jamerson, who's been phenomenal. 13 and 10, didn't miss a shot. And Knueppel crew, to get around those two, is going to have to play a balanced attack of basketball. They have the guard, they have the big, excuse me, it's Nick McGlynn. He can get inside. You see right there for the Elam Mendy. They're going to have to throw it inside. Chase Forte is going to have to handle this pressure. He's going to have to do it right. And then this guy right here, Marcus Tomasic, he is a straight shooter, 2,400 points at Michigan Tech. And when you got someone getting in the paint finding guys, Knueppel crew will have a chance to upend the Mecca.
So we have this and so much more action coming up on the other side of the break. You're watching the 13th annual TBT from the M Resort Spa Casino in Henderson. See you on the other side. Welcome back to the M Resort Spa Casino. We're moments from the start of today's game, and we couldn't be more excited to be a part of it. The Mecca taking on Knueppel crew. Let's take a look at our starting lineups today, presented by M Resort Spa Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. We talked about some of the players. Casper Ware Jr. averaging a little over 21 points per game. You might as well call him the butcher with the way he's been slicing through defenses. And on the other end, Knueppel crew, they've got Nick McGlynn. He's been a big body presence in the paint, and Knueppel crew is going to need him to pull up a big game in order to stop the bigs for the Mecca.
Yeah, Nick McGlynn coming off a successful campaign in Dynamo Sassari in Italy. If you've never been, Philly, I suggest you go. Beautiful island, but he's not here to relax. He's going to have to put his workman hat on tonight. These bigs from the Mecca are formidable.
Well, you're coming in with confidence, so whatever we get on your Vegas winnings, let's go to Italy after this.
I didn't say I was going to win that much, you know, but if we're lucky, huh?
If we're lucky. Your officials for today, Jeff Anderson, Clarence Armstrong, and Matt Potter. The Mecca wearing the white jerseys, Knueppel crew wearing the black jerseys, and we are underway.
See Philly right off the tip right there, how quick Jamerson is off his feet. That could be a challenge for a guy like McGlynn. He's going to have to get into his body to negate that light-footedness and quick bounce.
And Jamerson, fresh off of having completed his collegiate career over at UCLA. Ball comes into the corner, into the hands of Garrett Nevels, one of the top scorers on this team. Pulls up with the floater, right hand, comes up short, rebounded by Labinowitz. Labinowitz has been very effective for Knueppel Crew from beyond the arc, averaging a little over 6.5 points per game these last two. We see the rock in the hands of McGlynn, trying to get it into the paint to Tony Meyer. He's got the size advantage against Casper Ware, and he gets his shot swatted emphatically by Jamerson. 3-ball in the corner by Labinowitz, off the mark. Offensive putback is good by Tony Meyer.
Philly can't ask for a better start if you're Knueppel Crew right there. You get the ball inside, work on the mismatch. Even though you don't finish, you get a good shot, and you're on the offensive glass right away. Great start.
Tony Meyer, 6'8" power forward out of Missouri, averaging a hair above 11 per game. And going up is Marvell Harris, Fresno State legend. He's been a very solid performer for the Mecca, 11.5 points per game. He's leading Casper Ware Senior's side throughout this tournament.
Solid is the word. You see first two possessions for the Mecca. Get in the paint, a lot of space to roam.
Tomaszek wide open for three, and he splashes it. If he gets hot early, Knueppel Crew are going to be really tough to beat.
Yeah, we talked about the 2,400 points at Michigan Tech. 85% of his shots are threes, and you see the balance early from Knueppel Crew.
Pass into the big man, Terrell Carter. And the big man knows the table is set. He's starting to feast in the paint.
Yeah, you see him flex his muscle. He's looking a little bit like you, Philly, down there, just banging bodies. Great feed from Ware.
If only that were the case. He's built out of rock, and I am built out of, well, fast food. Turnover as Harris goes behind the back. All the way to the hole. Just comes up short. Jamerson, the offensive rebound. Can't get in the bunny. Gets it once again, and he converts. Blue-collar bucket for Jamerson, the former UCLA Bruin.
Coming off 13 and 10. Missed that easy bunny. Didn't miss last game. You give him two chances from that close. And Knueppel Crew cannot turn the rock over like that.
Tomaszek with a hand in his face, and Carter's going to get the block, defending the perimeter very well. Into Jamerson. That's going to be blocking foul, counted and one.
Yeah, Philly block shot just as good as a turnover right there. And again, this Mecca team, they like to get up and down. Both sides do, but in different manners. And when they have space to play, they're going to make guys guard. You see right there, good offense right there. Has to be the realization. McGlynn's open on the slip, doesn't see it. And now you're off and running out in the open. You put Meyer in a tough position. Great finish from Jamerson.
Jamerson splashes in the free throw. He's had an interesting story throughout his collegiate career. Off to Michigan State as a student manager, and then managed to compete collegiately, coming back to California, playing with USD, and then finding his way on a Mick Cronin's UCLA side. An incredible story. And another turnover. The Mecca's defense is stifling. Ware Jr., and he hits a three. Casper Ware Jr. can do it inside and absolutely can burn you outside.
And this pressure defense, Chase Forte is going to have to do a better job. Might have to see Knueppel Crew go to two guards, but that's not a welcome sight if you're Knueppel Crew. Casper Ware is
and a quick 10-0 run for the Mecca. Things getting physical. Last game for the Mecca, they had a very physical game against Hardfire, where they were, between both teams, 29 fouls.
And that's their brand of basketball. You see again, another turnover. Casper, you mentioned, get downhill, but he can shoot that rock despite his struggles in this tournament. If he gets it going from three, it's going to be a long night for whoever is matching up with him.
5'10" point guard out of Cerritos, California. Successful career in the Big West, playing for Long Beach State as Labinowitz. He's going to draw foul, driving aggressively into the paint.
Good recognition from Labinowitz. Know he can shoot a little bit, realizes the illegitimate closeout right there, and attacks to his left hand, gets the foul. And Philly, if you're right now, Knueppel Crew, you're down 7. Besides the turnover, they've run some good offense, just not the best decisions in converting. So if they can keep ball body moving, they will have a chance to stay in this game.
And a smart move for Knueppel Crew to drive aggressively into the paint. Like, Carter got in foul trouble last game. I mean, he fouled out early, which put the Mecca in a hurdle, as we see Casper Ware Sr., head coach of the Mecca, a legend as a player and as a coach in the Drew League.
Cass Jr. get it from his daddy. He's been doing it for a long time in that family.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as cliche as that is, but you know, when you have somebody like Casper Ware Sr. to learn from, Casper Ware Jr. had a lot of good tutelage.
Sir.
Wide open on that left side momentarily was Harris, and he's going to get called for the travel.
Really good closeout there from Tomasic. Closeout short. The Mecca's been struggling from three in this tournament, only 13 of 50. Right there, make them make shots, take the pain away, and right there, indecision. Good defensive stand.
Mecca representing Long Beach, California, the Mecca Pro-Am, SoCal Premier Pro-Am basketball group. We got a series of all-star players competing on the floor here, as that's going to be a travel assessed to Tony Meyer. The turnover's starting to pile up here for Knueppel Crew, and the Mecca's taking advantage of just that, as they have the lead 12-7 with under 5 in the first quarter.
Yeah, you'll live with that turnover, though. You get the mismatch. It paid off first possession of the game, even though it's an offensive rebound. And it's a dead ball turnover, so nothing out in the open. Just trying to execute, but really good by Casper Ware right there, standing his ground against the bigger Meyer.
Harris, screen set by Carter. The bounce into the big man with the right hand. And Jamerson tried to tip it out, but Chase Forte, formerly of Boston College, gets the basketball, trying to find his way in. McGlynn had 3 turnovers in the last 5 possessions for Knueppel Crew. Make that 4 now. As Nevels pulls up for 3. Shooter's touch for Garrett Nevels.
Little sidewinder right there. He got that different shooter's touch, just creeps in. Tough shot. Again, if the Mecca's making shots like that, it's going to be tough.
Dialing it up long distance. Looks like that's going to be a foul, potentially against Harris. Forte trying to slice his way into the paint. And so now we have Carter checking into the game for Harris. There we see the head coach for Knueppel Crew, Jeff Norgard. Norgard, a legendary collegiate career at the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. It's part of that class of '96 where he was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks in the second round. And another turnover. Ware into Nevels. Nevels back over to Ware. He's got Tony Meyer in front of him. Nevels is going to pull up, and he hits. Garrett Nevels starting to get hot here. And we're going to have a timeout here, immediate timeout, as we are under the 4-minute mark. 3:54 remaining here in the first quarter, as the Mecca leads Knueppel Crew by a score of 18-7.
See right there again, they're hugging the gap.
TBT is brought to you by M Resort Spa Casino, the official hotel of the Las Vegas bracket. TBT is brought to you by M Resort Spa Casino, the official hotel of the Las Vegas bracket. And by Skechers Basketball, comfort that performs. The Mecca in control here in the first quarter as they have an 11-point lead built off of a 16-2 run, but those 11 points that they currently lead by, all coming off of Knueppel Crew turnovers.
All somewhat unforced errors. The pressure from the Mecca is there as we expected. However, Knueppel Crew is running good offense, and that secondary decision, just a lot of deflections, lack of focus, and it turned into three-point shots as well for the Mecca, who's recently been struggling.
As we see Jack Campion checking into the game, getting his first minutes. Just graduated from SIU Edwardsville as Forte aggressively drives in with the right hand. The X's and O's seem to work there. And for Knueppel Crew, it's not just head coach Jeff Norgard. They've got Zach Fleener, who's an incredible head coach within his own right. He's the one that drew up that amazing play that prevailed the Elam Ender against Gotham City Bockers as Neville's. This man is hot. It's 100 degrees out in Vegas right now, but here in this facility, he's making about 120 with the way he's shooting the basketball.
Yeah, 36% in the 2 games. So even though the team's been struggling, he's been doing it well.
And Forte connects with McGlynn. Missed defensive assignment for the Mecca, and that's about the easiest basket Knueppel Crew's had all afternoon.
Doesn't come out of the timeout. 2 good sets. Doesn't matter much because Neville says, I don't care about that little bucket. We can come down here and play some offense. He's on fire.
I mean, if this was a video game, NBA Jam, he would have been literally lit up on fire. 5 of 5 from beyond the arc is the Mecca. 100% from beyond the arc. Dialing it up long distance is working. The turnaround, shooter's touch goes in for McGlynn. So he's starting to get active inside the paint.
Yeah, another good offensive possession off the offensive rebound. That's the balance they have. They got to figure out a way to guard this man right here.
He's been a cheat code for the Mecca this afternoon. We see substitutes checking in. We see Lamar Peters and Kevon Scott getting their first minutes. Peters averaging about 4.5 points per game here in Vegas. It's Neville's, inbounds it into Peters. Turnover. McGlynn over to Campion. 3-pointer for Labinowitz. Ball is loose. Offensive rebound. Into the hands of Gray. Gray for 3. Just see how poised now Knueppel Crew is coming out after that break and that timeout, getting these offensive rebounds. And it's Jamerson. Looks like it's going to stay on this end.
Knueppel Crew doing a fantastic job putting some of this size and strength on the Mecca on the offensive glass. That's the equalizer for some of these early turnovers, keeping them in this game. They have to start making some of these threes.
Tony Meyer checking in for McGlynn. Both players 6'8". Gray looking for a screen. Finds Meyer from outside. He hits a 3.
Yes, sir, that's what he does. Tony Meyer talked about it. He likes to play in the post, but that's what he does. 4 of 8 last game, finished his career in Poland, came out of retirement to play for Knueppel Crew.
Yeah, champion in the Polish League back in 2023. So a rare miss from beyond the arc for the Mecca.
Well, they didn't have Neville shooting.
That's true. Basically, they have to hammer him down to the floor to stop him. Driving in. That's going to be a foul, much to the dismay of the Mecca.
Really good response out of the timeout from Knueppel Crew. Continuing the offense, no turnovers. And right here, drag 2 to the ball, expecting the roll man because they got Meyer at the 5, and Jamerson is used to being helping that help side. Nobody tags Meyer, and he buries the 3.
Keenan Cole at the free throw line, 6'7" power forward out of Streamwood, Illinois. Connects on his first attempt. Played at Lindenwood University where he was second team, all conference. 1,000-point scorer in his collegiate days, and most recently professionally in the Czech Republic, or Czechia as they were calling it during the World Cup. 7-0 run for Knueppel Crew as they chipped into the Mecca's lead. 24-18. That's the beauty of TBT. Team can just start going on a roll and find their way back in. Off-balance shot by Jamerson. He was looking for the foul. Official blows no whistle. Transition basketball now. Gray going one-on-one against Scott. Looking for that screen from Meyer. Ball comes into the paint with the right hand. And Tony Meyer, like he did a ton of times at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, makes the bucket with the right hand.
Showing the versatility right there. Hit the three, play inside, playing basketball. Looked like they were playing a little football, rugby, and wrestling in that possession, too. Tough finish by Meyer.
9-0 run for Knueppel Crew. 4-point game now as we are 13 seconds left here in this first quarter. Mecca looking for that final shot. Trying to create that space as Peters against Campion. He pulls up, grazes the tin. Gray comes up with the rebound, and there's the horn. Won't count if it hits, and it almost hits. Folks, we got a hot one brewing up here in Vegas, so stick around. So much more action to be had here from TBT. An interesting back and forth we've had here as the Mecca went on a 19-4 run and built a 12-point lead. And then to end the quarter, it was Knueppel Crew that went on a 9-0 run and cut that deficit to 4 points. Starting it off for the Mecca was Garrett Neville. 12 points on 4 triples, and then Tony Meyer getting the job done on the other end of the court.
Yeah, great response. Came out with some really pointed action out of that TV timeout. 0 turnovers to end the last 4 minutes for Knueppel Crew. 7 Tony Meyer points. But someone got to put some water on Garrett Neville's from Knueppel Crew.
Yeah, he has been scorching the nets today. Nothing but nylon on 4 occasions as Labinowitz muscling his way into the hole. He draws a foul. Artur Labinowitz, 6'3" shooting guard out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Started his collegiate career for the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina before playing at Evansville, and more recently professionally in Poland. Labinowitz hits the first.
mentioned, Philly, to start this game. Knueppel crew attacking the rim. The Mecca is a little foul prone. That's 2 right there on Terrell Carter. Get him out of the game. That just leaves Jamerson, as the big body down there. So again, talked about Knueppel crew has been executing throughout this game. You get rid of the turnovers, find yourself down 2 instead of 11.
And that timeout that they had fortuitously by that 4-minute media timeout mark obviously changed the complexion of this game. Not sure what head coach Nordgaard or Fleener said to the team, but they've responded really well. They know that this is it, do or die. They're in Vegas, roll the dice, give it everything you got. $2 million eventually at the end of this rainbow, not this bracket in particular, but this tournament. Excellent defense by the Crews. Campion quarterbacks the attack on the fast break and throws it right into the Mecca bench. Nearly taking out one of the assistant coaches.
Yeah, he's trying to take out Garrett Nevels. That was probably the best turnover they've had all day. Didn't quite work. But again, Campion to get the block shot, just got to slow down a little bit. Had a cutter coming his way. The younger point guard, first year out of college this year. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
Peters is going to pull up for a 3 of his own. Meyer pulls down the board, the outlet into Labinowitz. Quick feet, left hand, very acrobatic, cannot come up with the basket, rebounded by Carter. To the hole the other way, and the basket is good by Terrence Smith.
Knueppel crew got to be a little careful right here. You want to get up and down, you want to play with pace, but you got to have good decisions. A couple ill-advised choices from Labinowitz.
And at the place at the right time, Labinowitz was looking for a foul, but McGlynn was there to clean up the mess and put in the basket, and 26-24 now the score.
Yeah, Labinowitz living clean in his life that time. Little fortuitous bounce right there, but again, another questionable decision. Ends up all right that time. Keep getting good shots.
And that's going to be a foul on McGlynn. Let's take a look at the last basket that was scored here.
And Knueppel crew is going to have to realize Jamerson and Carter are up on that ball screen. That's a second block shot from a 3. This time, again, luckily ends up in the hands of McGlynn. You gotta understand, if they're up on that ball screen, you gotta hit that short roll or hit that backside play, and you'll have a lot of options. That's what Knueppel crew has been doing well. Play the ball screen, get that ball popping, and you'll have good looks.
Off the window, trying to draw the foul was Harris. And Carter, wide open, seemed to be rather surprised of how much space he had in the paint. Harris. And he draws the foul.
Since Wisconsinites are in the building and probably watching at home, the great Bo Ryan would say an AAU game just broke out right there. There had to be at least 4 violations somewhere, ends in a foul call right there. Maybe a foul there, but guys keep playing. The Mecca will go to the line for 2.
Marvell Harris. We see his last performance against Hardfire Elite, 14 points, 4 boards on 5 for 10 shooting. Off the back end of the iron on his first attempt. Harris, one of those players who comes in with TBT experience, having competed with the likes of Challenge ALS, several other teams as well. Back in 2021, Harris was one of the leading scorers at TBT. 6'5" shooting guard out of Rialto, California. Mountain West Player of the Year in 2016 with Fresno State. And Harris, much like you, Jordan Taylor, the fascinating journey of a professional basketball player, the amount of stamps he has in his passport from playing in places like Dubai, Australia. You know a little bit about the traveling.
I know a little bit about touching different parts of the world. Nothing better getting paid a little money to play basketball and seeing the world. Marvell Harris used the word solid for him. I think that was the most accurate depiction you could think of. There's a little bit of everything.
McGlynn, the fadeaway, tried to bank it. It's going to go the other end.
So the Mecca getting the defensive body, defensive box out on Meyer. Past couple possessions, the Mecca's forced Knueppel crew into a couple ill-advised shots, clean up the glass. Now we see their response to a little bit of momentum from Knueppel crew.
The poise that Knueppel crew is exhibiting thus far, after being down by double figures, and with the way the Mecca was shooting the basketball, the fact that they've battled to find their way into this game as Harris gets his defender in the air and scores. I mean, the making of a very well-coached team, first and foremost, but a group of players that only came together recently as they were the last addition to the Vegas bracket, but they're playing as if they've been together for quite some time.
Yeah, and you can see they all play the game in Wisconsin right there. The ball's moving, a little Spanulis action right there, a little back screen from Tomasic into handoff. Confuses the Mecca. You end up with a layup. But even though these guys just came together, they all come from similar playing backgrounds.
And that was the pass in from Ware to Carter, and foul on the floor.
Great pass from Ware right there. He mentioned, too, how these guys are just getting together and finding their rhythm. But you see right there, a little back screen for the shooter. The big has to jump out like we talked about because Tomasic will knock that down. And that's what we just said. If the big is high, get rid of it. Great read from Tomasic. It's pass, layup. And then the other end, again, Casper Ware talked about how these guys had only practiced together a couple times. They're still finding their rhythm, but they also play well together, particularly him and Carter, him and Jamerson in that ball screen.
Carter hits the first free throw in that game one for the Mecca. He hit the game-winning Elam Ender as a free throw. Going 1 for 2, though. Successful on that trip. As mentioned, he found himself in foul trouble in the last game. But playing aggressive, scoring defensively on the perimeter as Labinowitz pulls up. Second time around. And tipped into the hands of Harris.
Labinowitz has never seen a three he does not like. He is letting it fly out here. You got to love the aggressiveness. But again, got to have good shots if you're Knueppel Crew.
And the pull-up three is good for Harris as he gets Forte in the air, steps back, and drills the triple.
And here you see the IQ of the Mecca starting to show up. Ball screen, Harris starting to heat up. Only 20%, uses his shot fake. Gets his man in there, a little step back, tough shot.
Glenn comes up with it, finds Cole. Cole into the paint, scores the layup. So Smith into Carter. And the big man's going to get called for the charge.
Good heads-up play right there from McGlynn. Maybe a little bit of a flop. You see right here, get the switch, same side, help. Chase Forte, that's a no-no. Even though you got a 20% three-point shooter, Harris makes him pay. And then again, little good fortune for Knueppel Crew. Bouncing the ball off the basket, ends up in the right hands. Get the two.
Yeah, you got to credit the basket for the hockey assist in this hockey-crazed town of Vegas.
That's what we call in Vegas now, a hockey town?
I mean, at least until they get an NBA team, maybe the A's. I mean, Vegas is a sports town, no question about it. Forte for three. Forte rattles it home.
Yeah, that's what you need right there. Great pick and roll read. Weak side defense helps in. Forte, easy shot.
Ware fading away the triple. Rebounded by Campion. Had Forte open momentarily on that left side. Pulls up into Cole. Three-pointer of his own. And Cole. Liquid Drano from beyond the arc.
Yeah, you know the old saying, Mark Jackson, hand down, man down. Keenan Cole finds himself in transition, takes a deep breath, says, you ain't gonna guard this? I'm gonna let this fly, young fella.
And I love it. Both teams going at one another from beyond the arc. Inside, outside, everything on the line. The game is tied. So much to play for. If you can't get excited over the prospects of fighting for $2 million, then you're doing way better than us. But either way, $2 million is serious, serious cheddar. And Jamerson silencing the Knueppel Crew fans here momentarily. Under 4 here in the second quarter. He could perhaps be on the precipice of a TBT Classic game as the three-pointer is missed from McGlynn, rebounded by Jamerson.
Great pass from Campion. McGlynn, gotta go one more right there. You had Mecca in rotation. You got Tomasic right there, the best shooter on the floor.
Peters with the hesitation, found space, and Campion, the little pickpocket himself, comes up with a clean strip. Cole on the fast break, coast to coast, can't get the finger roll. Taken by Smith. Smith the other end to Harris. Harris driving into the paint. Swatted by Tomasic.
Great transition defense by Campion right there.
Lead pass and telegraphed right into the hands of Peters.
Not great offense from Campion right there. Got to slow it up.
Now it's going to give the Mecca a moment to just catch their breath and set up their offense. Under 3 to go here in this half. And look at the defense by McGlynn. Into Forte, he only has where to beat. To the hole he goes.
Both teams playing a little frantic right now. It's an ill-advised turnover from the veteran Casper Ware. Don't see that from him a lot. Such a great decision maker.
Smith is going to pull up right inside the 3. Off the back end of the iron. Rebounded by Campion. Look at him go. How speedy he is with the right hand. Not sure if Smith had his hands on it momentarily, which altered the trajectory of the shot. So we're going to head over to a break here real quick from the gorgeous and luxurious M Resort Spa and Casino Hotel, the official home of the Vegas bracket. (36-36) here with 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining here in the first half. As we take a look at some of the fans in the stands here at the M Resort Spa and Casino, the official hotel headquarters of the Las Vegas Raiders. It's such a great host for the TBT. All the restaurants we've been to, from Martinelli's to Anthony's to Jade 16, fantastic food. And for those that are looking to plan a Vegas trip, this one's off the strip, just a mere 15 minutes away, but highly recommend y'all head into the M Resort Spa and Casino. You see Casper Ware Jr. at the free throw line. His first attempt, successful, and he's had a heck of a time at the charity stripe. Over 20 points from there alone.
Only one miss, 22 of 23 now. 23 of 24 now, if you can count correctly. Fortunately, I can most days, Philly, so getting that one right.
I still have to use my fingers every once in a while when calculating tip. Analog guy living in a digital world.
I got to use my fingers counting from 21 to 22. So.
Meyer from NBA range, deep. As Gray nearly had the tip in, but the ball gets poked back into the hands of Harris.
Great job by Casper Ware to stick with that one. This time his jump.
With the number of free throws that he's had, I mean, the Mecca, the best at TBT from free throws made to free throw attempts is Jamerson. Misses in the paint.
Great job by Forte there, making it tough on Jamerson, forcing that miss.
Gray in the corner, picks up his dribble, is in trouble. And that's going to be a foul against Casper Ware. And he got bailed out because Gray had nowhere to go. picked up his dribble, nearly lost his pivot, but bailed out by the whistle.
Yeah, he was in a bit of a panic mode right there. Casper Ware, a little bit overzealous. Gets called for the push right there. Bails Gray out.
Gray had awesome collegiate career at Emerson College. 20-point-a-game scorer. He's also the video and player development assistant for the Charlotte Hornets. Pulls up for three, and it sails right into the stands just above the cameraman.
Close the windows, Philly. A little wind in here pushing that.
Yeah, you felt that draft too, right?
Felt that draft, little air coming through. Tough shot right there, happens to the best of us.
Bounce pass in to Carter. Carter with the right hand. All business is Carter. Just such a tough player to defend, standing at 6'10". The guy's built from stone.
And McGuinn got the best of him on the first one. Is a little further from the basket. Catching it that close, Carter's going to be tough.
Under a minute remaining here in the half. Nevels, who we haven't seen much of here in the second quarter. Into the paint, back to Carter. Carter to Jamerson.
Yes.
And easy business for the Mecca.
Good pass right there. Carter does a great job at getting position again. Casper Ware, bullet pass in there. Carter, we're seeing the physicality, showing a little bit of the sweet feet right there. The great drop pass to Jamerson.
6-0 run for the Mecca here. Forte right around the elbow. He's going to draw a foul on Casper Ware Jr., who planted his foot, but that's a tough foul right there.
Tough foul. Great job by Forte. Two quick ones for Casper Ware. That's one you don't want to have. Still good with 23 seconds left, but that's the guy. Even though we've seen pretty much about everybody on the Mecca show up, Marvell Harris, Jamerson, Nevels, Carter, Casper Ware being quiet is scary for Knueppel Crew, fourth in the tournament in scoring.
TBT fans, show your pride and support your favorite team with official merchandise. Shop now at thetournament.com and represent your team all tournament long. Forte connects on the second. And both teams going to have a quick conversation about it. So we're going to head to a break real quick. We got our own little hydration break. And when we come back, got 23 seconds and change remaining here in the second quarter. .2 seconds remaining. Mecca up by 4. We've had back and forth action here. Both teams going on monumental runs. Both teams getting it done in the paint and from beyond the arc. And it's been a highly entertaining game, as been the case for most of the games here in the Vegas bracket.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of a chess match, a little bit of a wrestling match. Getting something to everything. And, of course, some good shot making from both sides. Late in the game, late in this half. This would be a big bucket for the Mecca. Expect a high ball screen. Maybe Nevels on the backside, activated as a shooter.
And Nevels, Ware was looking for him, but into the paint to Carter. Carter with the left hand, halfway through the cylinder. Ball is loose. Cole has it. Tries to quickly get it to Forte. At half court, it'll count if it goes. And it comes up short. Excellent defense on the other end for Knueppel Crew as the Mecca tried to find their way into the hole, and we finally have made it into halftime here, 42-38. Folks, it's Sunday Fun Day. Don't you dare go anywhere. So much more action to be had from Henderson. Ben Rice and the Yankees face Pete Crow Armstrong and the Cubs. Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Saturday night is baseball night in America, and this week, two iconic clubs shine under the bright lights in prime time as Ben Rice and the Yankees face Pete Crow Armstrong and the Cubs. Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Welcome back, folks, as you're looking at the lobby of the M Resort Spa Casino Hotel. It is halftime here with the Mecca leading Knueppel Crew by a score of 42-38. We're going to send it to another break, and when we come back, got more action and more info for you. As we approach the MLB trade deadline and gear up for football season, here are three guys you can't miss. You gotta know what Dave's gonna say on Wake Up Barstool. The whole sports world is always looking to hear Colin's takes, and you know Nick's gonna surprise you on First Things First. The three voices that set the conversation only on FS1. I know what many of y'all thinking. You want to get this party started, but we're still at the half. Mecca leading Knueppel Crew 42-38. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about this game, and then we'll give you plenty more action for the start of the third quarter. You're watching the 13th annual TBT, live from the M Resort Spa Casino in Henderson, Nevada. Welcome back, folks. As we get ready to start the third quarter, the Mecca currently up on Knueppel Crew by a score of 42-38. This has been a highly entertaining game. My name's Christian Filliman alongside Jordan Taylor. Here in Sin City, it's all about entertainment, the shows, the festivities. And between the Mecca and Knueppel Crew today, we've had all of that and then some.
Yes, we have. And like you said, it's been fun. It's late on the East Coast, but we just getting started out here on the West Coast. A dynamite second half coming your way. But again, the Knueppel Crew, they've had good balance like we talked about, but this guy, Nick McGlynn, has led the way, doing it inside, also getting stops on the defensive end as well. And on the other side, for the Mecca crew, it's been Garrett Nevels. Cass Ware leads the way. But there's an old adage, if you've seen Friday Night Lights, Philly, you want to win, let Booby spin. Put him in, put him in. And Garrett Nevels doing his best Booby miles right here. He's getting it going. They need him to keep making shots to expand that lead.
And Nevels leading both teams in scoring. Game high 12. He was looking momentarily for another triple. So let's see what both of these teams have drawn up coming out of the half. And it's a quick three into Nevels, and Splash City once again. Without question, he's been the mayor of Splash City all day long. His 5th triple this afternoon.
Put Booby in, let him spin. Garrett Nevels picking up where he left off. Got to put a hand up if you're Knueppel crew.
And that's Labinowitz to the hole. Sees the big, long arms of the 6'10". Carter thought for a second. And when you think, well, you start to run into problems. A mind, often at times, is a terrible thing to overuse.
Yes, it is. That is a fact. It's almost a waste when you use it too much.
Ball comes into the paint. Kicked out. Harris going against Tomaszek one-on-one. He had Nevels open momentarily. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. The fadeaway. And that's going to come out of bounds.
Great defense right there from Tomaszek.
And that's another player that Knueppel crew needs to get involved offensively. He hit his first 3 to begin things, but a player who's a shooter, a player that scored over 2,000 in college, over 1,000 in high school, got to get him actively involved in the flow of the offense.
Absolutely, Philly. Even if it's not making those shots or taking him, putting a shooter like that in the action always forces a reaction. We saw it in the first half with a little Spanoulis action in Greece. That's a little back screen into a handoff right there, a turnover.
And the turnover, Harris, the alley-oop, almost. Jamerson, practically with his hands on top of the backboard, smart to come down, collect himself, puts in the basket, and a nice run for the Mecca coming out of the break.
A really heads-up play there for Jamerson just to catch it and come down.
McGlynn with a response of his own. So I was going to credit the fact that Knueppel crew, after having allowed 11 points off of turnovers as the pass comes in, excellent pass into Carter, they've been protecting the basketball a bit better than they had been in the first 6 minutes to start the first quarter.
Yes, they have. A couple turnovers here to start the half. And you see Casper wearing that pick and roll just a second ago is deadly. Great delivery to Carter.
So Forte tried to triple of his own. Nevels going one-on-one against Labinowitz. Trying to get around that screen. The pass into the paint to Jamerson. Jamerson with Meyer. He spins with the right hand. Too strong off the far end of the rim. Pulled down by Labinowitz.
Really good feet there by Jamerson. He's doing a great job showing poise on those catches.
And Meyer pulls up for 3 with Ware in front of him. Tony Meyer puts Casper Ware in the dryer with that triple.
Yeah, a little smirk at Casper Ware. They've been going back and forth on those switches. Tony Meyer, again, great career, coming out of retirement to make shots.
Jamerson off the front end of the iron. Ball is loose. Tomaszek aggressively going for it. To the hole he goes, and he scores in transition.
Tomaszek, 85% of his shots are threes, but right there showing a little burst of speed and finish at the rim, saying, I can do a little bit of everything.
Out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, All-American at Michigan Tech. What a career he's had. Miscommunication. That bounce pass intended for Jamerson goes out of bounds. Let's take a look at that transitionary play in that defense by Tomaszek.
Yeah, you see the long rebound right there, and Tomaszek outrunning everybody, and then sees Casper Ware back. Says, you ain't nothing but about 6 foot. I'm going to go just elevate at the rim and finish. Great job by Tomaszek.
Mecca with a 4-point lead. So that's going to be a turnover on McGlynn. The hesitation that you can feel it even from our perspective. Thought about it, got called on the turnover on that double dribble.
I'm not going to lie to you, Philly. He dribbled that so confidently, I almost forgot that he dribbled one time right there. A great job by Neville to fight through that screen on Tomaszek. And you see that Mecca physicality paying off right there.
Yeah, you and me both, for that matter. Into the paint. Carter is confidently weighing in his options. Finds Nevels. Over to Harris. Harris with 8 on the shot clock. Into the paint, tries to get Tomaszek up. And that's just unfortunate because Tomaszek did a really good job playing defensively, not trying to take the bait, but he's still going to get called for the foul.
Yeah, it's great patience right there from Harris. Knows he's got the physicality size, and if you're Tomaszek, it's just tough. Did a great job staying in front of him, but that's not the challenge with a guy like Harris. It's the physicality. You get bumped once, you get bumped twice. Eventually, if no help comes, you're going to be in trouble.
Tomaszek with his second personal foul. Harris heads over to the free throw line.
The Knueppel crew right there, you got to do a better job. It's showing bodies for Tomaszek, making Harris hesitate right there. He held that ball for about 5 seconds. That's going to be a difficult matchup for anybody.
There we see Jeff Nordgaard. Mentioned him earlier. Played for Dick Bennett at the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. That team 3 times in the NCAAs and had that incredible upset against Jason Kidd's Cal back in the day. Almost took out a Syracuse team that was led by Lawrence Moat, Adrian Autry, and John Wallace. So if there's anybody who's been on a big stage who knows a thing or two about upsets, it's Jeff Nordgaard, the head coach of Knueppel crew. Forte looking for that screen, going one-on-one momentarily against Ware, and that's a turnover. 3-on-2 in this fast break. Nevels for 3. Can anybody stop this man from beyond the arc?
It doesn't look like it, Philly, and you got to give a shout-out to Casper Ware right there. The heady play, 3-on-2, could have got downhill, finds the shooter. And that's a layup for Nevels.
Meyer, and he hits on the other end. Similarly, Casper Ware tried to face him. He used that hesitation, got Ware up in the air, and he pulls up. Nevels another one. Speaking of players that have had their success, to mention Knueppel crew, Con Knueppel back in 2014 had a game for Scotty's Legends where he hit 9 threes. Can Nevels be on the track to do that as well? With the reversal, excellent spin off of the window by Harris. He made it look so easy, but that was anything but easy.
Heads up play, staying with it off the offensive rebound. A little jelly lay. Harris, that's tough.
Meyer for 3. He hits again. Between Meyer and Nevels, we got 2 Cowboys gunslinging it in Henderson.
Tony Meyer coming off a 4 for 8. Again, finished his career in Poland a year ago. He's got 4 kids, so I know he's not sleeping much, looking like he's got fresh legs.
And that's Casper Ware for a 3 of his own. Jamerson, the offensive rebound. Back into the hands of Nevels, over to Harris. Harris gets Forte in the air, right around the elbow, picks up his dribble, finds Jamerson. Excellent defense by McGlynn, up in the air, and Meyer with the rebound.
Jamerson's been so good with his decision-making all game. That's the first time an ill-advised decision, really. Good job by McGlynn.
Labinowitz with a 3 of his own. And that was halfway home to a 4-point play as foul on Jamerson, but Labinowitz is going to head to the free throw line as we're going to catch some highlights of both teams going at it. It's a shootout here in Henderson.
Yeah, Labinowitz been looking for that 3, didn't get it. He'll go to the line. But for the guys that don't need the free throws, it's Meyer, it's Nevels, hand down, man down, take that with you.
Welcome back, folks. Here in the third quarter with 2:48 remaining. The Mecca up on Knueppel Crew by a score of 55-41. And this has been a very entertaining game of basketball. And we've been very blessed here in this Vegas bracket to have so many entertaining games. And what a classic this has been. So much fun. If you're not enjoying a contest like this, well, I got to tell you, you probably don't have a pulse, because this is TBT basketball at its finest.
You know, if you're not enjoying this, then yeah, you probably just need to be watching golf. Turn on the 3M or something like that. Not a bad choice, but I'm saying we got some guys hooping here in Vegas.
So it's going to be Labinowitz now with 3 free throw attempts after getting fouled right before we went to the break. Top of the key. And just narrowly misses his first attempt. That was one where the basketball gods were not very kind to Artur Labinowitz.
Artur Labinowitz has struggled from the field, 0 for 6, 4 for 5 from the line, but you know, as a teammate, you love to play with guys like him, because even though he's struggling, he has not hesitated to take the next one. Typically, when you have that type of confidence, only a matter of time.
And up until that point, Knueppel Crew was perfect from the free throw line, 8 for 8, and Labinowitz struggling from the charity stripe.
Let's see how he responds to that. Missing 3 free throws is a bit different than missing 1 3, so got to stay confident, though.
Passing to Harris, wide open in the corner. Rebounded by Cole.
Heads up help. Casper Ware turns the corner. They're comfortable leaving Marvell Harris there, only 20% in the tournament. Misses it short. Still, can't leave a guy like Harris that wide open.
Cheers, Campion, the spark plug for Knueppel Crew, coming off the bench, finding Labinowitz, who passes to himself essentially as Gray pulls up for the jumper. Rebounded by Carter. Terrell Carter, 6'10", out of Los Angeles, went to Redondo Union High School, along with Marvell Harris, played at Fresno State. Foul goes against the Crew.
Here's where Knueppel Crew is hanging around. But in games like this, when you got a guy like Terrell Carter and Casper Ware, even though he's going to check out, you got a guard who can make plays and a big who can take advantage of mismatches right now. Knueppel Crew a little light. Tony Meyer at the 5. See how they respond.
Meyer with his 3rd personal foul. Carter for the Mecca keeps it from going across that half-court line. And poked out of bounds by Cole.
Textbook right there. Cole has good habits. Got his left hand, inside hand in the passing lane. I don't think he expected to tip that. He would have had a dunk.
Harris with the inbound. Into the hands of Nevels. 6 triples today. He's going to pull up inside the 3-point line. And something that we haven't seen very often today, a miss from Nevels.
Well, as he stepped inside the 3-point line, you know, you got to take a step back. He would have been all right. That's a tough shot, snaking it off the pick and roll. Great contest there from Meyer. Heavy pressure on the ball screen. Good defensive possession from Knueppel Crew.
Campion, the point guard, gets it across half court. Started his collegiate career in Southern Indiana, playing for the Screaming Eagles of USI. Meyer with the turnaround jumper. Oh, and he gets it. Where Labinowitz was cursed by the basketball gods, Meyer was blessed on that jump shot.
Living clean. You see it right there. Just a tough turnaround. He's been watching old MJ tape right there over that right shoulder. Tony Meyer feeling it.
For you youngsters out there, he was referring to Michael Jordan. Carter for 3. Shooter's touch of his own, no, but the rebound by Nevels. Can't get the layup. You said it, maybe he's just better off pulling up for 3s the rest of the way through.
You know what? Just shoot behind the line. And Philly for, you gotta, let's see it right here. Tony Meyer, he's catching it on the block, no dribble. Harris, physical, turn over that right shoulder. Like we said, MJ and Philly, if you gotta clarify who MJ is, regardless of age, then yes, you do need to be watching golf.
Oh, the debate over who the greatest is of all time. We're just blessed to have gotten to see these players ourselves.
Thanks.
As the 3-pointer is missed from Meyer, pulled down by Carter. Under a minute to go here in this third quarter. It's a 2-point game. Peters, a heavy screen set for Carter on Campion. And Lamar Peters for the triple.
Mark Peters, good patience, comes off the first one, and Terrell Carter wallops Campion on that screen. Gives him plenty of space to come off that, comfortably knock that down.
Roughly 1 second and change differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Knueppel Crew gonna settle for the final shot. Let's see what they have drawn up here. This is an incredibly well-coached team. Campion over to Forte. Forte to the hole, gets the shot swatted. Neville's for three, it'll count if it goes. Oh, so close. Oh, so close. 58-53 the score, and we got one more quarter to go. 5 more minutes and an Elam ending. Folks, we're having fun. Hope you're having fun. 1 more quarter to go to settle this one here in the knockout rounds. TBT is brought to you by M Resort Spa Casino, the official hotel of the Las Vegas bracket. TBT is brought to you by M Resort Spa Casino, the official hotel of the Las Vegas bracket. Here at the fourth quarter, the Mecca 58 to Knueppel Crew's 53. And this has been so much fun. I'm a little bummed that we've made it to the fourth quarter. This is the kind of basketball game I want to sit and watch for hours. And hopefully y'all have enjoyed it as much as we have. But 1 more quarter to go, 5 minutes, and then an Elam ending. For those that are unaware what that means, we'll talk to you about that. It's one of the best, it is the best way to end a basketball game, but we'll fill you in on that later as Campion inbounds it into Gray to get things starting for Knueppel Crew here in the fourth quarter.
Some would say the only way to end a basketball game.
You're not wrong about that. And the NBA liked it enough to have used it in the All-Star game in 2020.
Yeah.
Gray over to Forte. Forte runs into a buzzsaw. Passes it off the rim, but Meyer, who's had an 18-point game, connects with Gray. Gray can't toilet bowl through, but Cole with the offensive rebound. He gets the spin and the roll.
That basket is really picking and choosing who it likes on this Knueppel Crew team, but Cole sticks with it. Offensive rebound. Good possession. They had the Mecca scrambling.
A very ornery rim. It's shooters touching some and then very mean to others as Peters hits a jumper. Lamar Peters, 6-foot point guard out of New Orleans. How hard it is to win a state championship in high school for basketball. He did it back-to-back times. Also known for his time at Mississippi State, where he was SEC All-Freshman team. Played with the Knicks in the Summer League, pro in Turkey, Spain, and Greece. And yeah, Lamar Peters, the gentleman who hit the last basket for the Mecca. Wanted to highlight him momentarily now that we had the opportunity to do so.
I mean, it's tough. This Mecca team has so many options. Casper Ware Sr. made note of it. Lamar Peters, haven't heard much from him, turning it on right now.
Campion. And look at that rebound. That's a man's board by Mark Carter. Carter out of Los Angeles, went to Carson High School and West LA College. Smith, and that's going to be a foul on Campion. Excellent drive into the paint for Terrence Smith.
Another one of these Mecca guards showing the depth in that backcourt. You got Nevels, Casper Ware, who've done so much for them in this tournament. Turn to Lamar Peters, turn to Terrence Smith. Don't miss a beat. Keep making plays for the Mecca.
Terrence Smith, who has TBT experience, having played with LA Ignite, hits his first. Going back to his high school career, playing in Jersey, he played for the great Bob Hurley Sr. at St. Anthony's. In one stat, not only obviously is he an incredible basketball player that landed him at Nebraska, played at Duquesne and UConn, but he got it done in the classroom as well, Jordan. He's just high school's valedictorian.
Look at him. Very impressive.
Getting it done on the court and in the classroom. I'm not good at multitasking, so I'll always applaud somebody who can.
That is a fact.
Tomaszek, Meyer. And there's that rim again, not friendly.
Tony Meyer is human after all. Finally gets one. It doesn't go down, but a great look. Can't leave him open too often.
Between him and Nevels, they were shooting threes like they were machines, cyborgs, if you will, as Carter, little unluck of his own, but the offensive rebound and the foul drawn in the paint. Mecca has it.
Jeff Norgard gonna have to make some adjustments here, losing the physicality battle. Nick McGlynn on the bench, set to check back in. The Knueppel crew looking a little tired right now, like they're worn down. Gonna have to find that burst of energy to get them to this Elam ending.
Harris set for the free throw. Shooter's touch. TBT fans, show your pride and support your favorite team with official merchandise. Shop now at thetournament.com and represent your team all tournament long.
Tony Meyer going to check out in exchange for Nick McGlynn. Tony Meyer going 24 minutes. He's probably got a minute or two over there before you got to come back with him. They got to finish with those two big fellas. Meyer's ability to stretch the floor and rebound, and McGlynn's ability to play inside late in his game.
At 28 points between the two bigs. And what a drive in by Forte. Intestinal fortitude by Forte on that bucket.
I see what you did there. That's a tough little just away screen. Get downhill. Great finish.
Smith misses the rebound by Tomaszek. We're roughly 2 minutes and change away from this Elam ending. Forte, the bounce pass into McGlynn. The layup is good.
Good recognition, delayed or secondary transition right there. The crew had no low man, nobody under the rim to protect. Good recognition from Forte, good delivery.
Peters from practically his hometown in New Orleans buries the triple.
Yeah, Lamar Peters don't care nothing about that little layup. A great response.
Cole. Knueppel crew spreading the ball across the perimeters. Forte drives to the hole. And look at the putback. Toilet bowls in by McGlynn.
Chase Forte turning up, him and McGlynn right now. Pick and roll, away screens, offensive rebounds, but Knueppel crew has to find a way to get a stop.
Smith into Harris up top. Harris dribbling his way past the free throw line. Tries to get the reverse with the left. Poked away, and that's Smith into the big man. That's a display of professionalism. Stood there, wasn't eager, wasn't aggressive, tried to draw contact, tried to draw the foul, but that was a heads-up high IQ play by Carter.
You're absolutely right, Philly. Great patience from the big fella right there. Terrible turnover in that situation from Knueppel Crew after you get the stop. Those are ones that are backbreakers.
And a crowd that heavily favors the Mecca. We're hearing a lot of chants of defense. Tomaszek with the dagger.
And you see early in that first half, the Mecca, Carter was up on those screens. Now he's a little tired, a little heavy leg. He's back. Great attack from Campion and Forte here late. Great find for the shooter.
Peters. Oh, and Campion almost picked it off. So Smith's going to settle things, slow down the pace. Look at that butt pick by Carter. Smith pulls up, and the rebound for Cole. We're getting awfully close to that Elam ending. Knueppel Crew, this could be an important trip down the hardwood for them as we are close to the Elam ending.
Huge trip. Go back to a high ball screen. Call Carter out. He's not as high in those screens. Make him guard. Got shooters, spread them out.
Forte. Into the hands of Cole. Cole within the three-point line. You want to talk about a wrestling match? We just saw a chair fly as both we had two big bodies fighting to keep the basketball in play.
Woo! A little Ric Flair action right there. Feeling good.
Well, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and we're still trying to figure out who the man is today.
That was fantastic. Pick and roll defense there, as you see both these teams hustling. Cole put a little lick on Carter, still took the worst of it. That's a big man right there. I don't know if I'm running into him by choice, but playing hard. Right there on that last possession, Carter with great pick and roll defense. They tried the Gortat screen to kind of shield him off so Forte could get to the rim. Didn't work.
And so with the timeout being called on the floor with the under 4-minute mark, that means that we are heading to the Elam ending. 68 plus 8 is your target score, and we'll tell you all about that. 76 is where both teams need to battle, and we are starting that Elam ending on the other end of this commercial break. Welcome back, folks. It's Elam ending time, and what that means for the Mecca, it's 68 plus 8 to be feeling great. For Knueppel Crew, it's 64 and a little more. Your target score is 76. Let's talk about the Elam ending rules.
Yeah, it's crunch time right now. The media timeout just took place under that 4-minute mark. That means that it's in 8 points from the leading team. So 76 is the score. The Mecca has to get 8 before Knueppel Crew gets 12. And Play resumes without the game clock until one team matches that score. And of course, just like anything, the beautiful thing of it is you need strategery to win. And I'm a student of the game, so there's different methods, but always got to be next play mentality. That's the fundamentals at all times. Take the 2 points, don't play one-on-one, and don't get stagnant. And we got to shout out the great Nick Baugh for some of those points because he is really good and buttoned up with some of that strategery. Some of his points, but couldn't agree more.
I'm a big fan of Nick Baugh and also a big fan of the word strategery. As the ball gets moved around the perimeter, and that's a strong start here in the Elam ending segment for Harris.
Nick Baugh somewhere smiling right now because that was anything but stagnant. Side to side, and Casper Ware hasn't scored much. His 7th assist throws a rocket. Marvell Harris dials up that 3-ball.
Elam ending, of course, was created by Ball State professor Nick Elam, and if you've watched the commercials and the promos, you'll see that Nick Elam signature dons the TBT basketball.
See right there, a little cross screen, defense collapse, get it out to Casper Ware, 4th best scorer. Defense is in recovery mode, and they take the risk to leave Harris open, pay the price.
Forte runs into a brick wall called Carter. Ball still on this end. Forte with a response on the other end. Chase Forte with liquid Drano from the left side.
Finished up his career at Boston College, showing the ice in his veins right there. Heck of a response from Chase Forte. Great patience from McGlynn.
Nevels into Ware. Ware very quiet from distance. Bounce pass into Carter. Carter still has his hands on it. McGlynn with the defense. Kicked out to Peters. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Harris to the hole. And Harris, 5 quick points for Marvell Harris here in the Elam ending.
Ooh.
And Peters is going to get called for the foul as he basically runs into the other baseline. He doesn't think that that should have been the correct call. And they're opting to go to a monitor review.
I think we're gonna see a challenge right there, Philly.
Oh, we are going to play on, or not, never mind.
Maybe not.
It looked like it for a moment as Campion was getting ready to take the ball out on the sideline. So yes, again, the target score 76. The Mecca, just 3 points. And folks, we're going to send it to a break. We're going to take a pause. You should too. And when we come back, a furious finish awaits all of us. All right, welcome back, folks. Got a little bit of clarification on what just transpired. I didn't get a chance to hear the official as he was talking to you. What did we hear?
Yeah, the great Jeff Anderson let us know that is not a challengeable opportunity right there. Blocks and charges and out of bounds. So, although you saw the fingers twirl, not possible. Knueppel crew will retain possession of the ball, but you got to shout out the Mecca and Marvell Harris right there. Great offense beats great, or excuse me, better offense is better than the defense right there. Good attack. Tony Meyer did a great job closing out short.
Tomaszek with Peters practically in his pockets. Tries to find space and a shot, can't get it. Here in chance of defense, it is deafening here in Henderson. Forte trying to take Harris off the dribble, the floater. He gets the friendly roll with a little flex and a couple of words to be had against the defense.
Chase Forte answering the bell right now. That's a tough finish. I know it's crunch time. Everybody wants to make a play. Still got to play smart right here. Your Knueppel crew, put Carter in the action, make him guard.
49% of Elam enders have gone by way of a two-pointer. The Mecca need 3. Harris, one-on-one against Meyer. Banks off the window.
Gonna wave it off.
But they're gonna wave it off. I was feeling a little too froggy. I jumped from one lily pad to another, but you reined me in.
Look at the space on the floor right there. Nick Boss said, don't get stagnant. And the Mecca has not, but that also applies to the defense right there. If you're Chase Forte, I know you don't want to give up the three, but Casper Ware is standing at half court. Marvell Harris, is feeling it. You've got to shrink the floor right now and recover back. Too much space to play.
They're giving him a one-on-one opportunity against Meyer, all the way to the hole. Beat him off the dribble, but couldn't connect. Forte, with a full head of steam, runs into a double team, and it's going to be a held ball with the possession arrow going the other way. Great heads-up defensive play by the Mecca. Just another testament to how Casper Ware Sr. has been running this team defensively throughout the entirety of their time here in Vegas. The Mecca has been rock solid defending the basketball.
Yeah, they've been fantastic, especially in transition. Been countless times where Knueppel crew has tried to force the issue and ended up with turnovers in transition. That one extremely costly with a chance to really claw back into this game.
In this town, people like to roll the dice. If you had to roll the dice, who do you think gets the final shot? Or do we end on a 2 or a 3? I'm going to ask you. Ball's in your court.
I think you got to take the 2. Final shots going probably to Marvell Harris or Casper Ware.
Game winner if it hits. It does! Marvell Harris with all the points. Here the Elam ending, and the Mecca defeat Knueppel crew.
I swear, Philly, I saw that coming before he shot it. But Marvell Harris dials it up. And who else other than Casper Ware Jr. doesn't get the buckets tonight, but he tallies up 8 assists, touches the paint, sprays out, and Marvell Harris makes Knueppel crew pay, sending them back to Wisconsin without that $2 million. So all right there is Casper Ware, touch the paint, extra pass, you got to close to Nevels, who's been hot. Unselfish from Nevels to get it back. And the Mecca will march on.
Harris with 21 points. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, a few more thoughts, some words, and we'll recap this incredible game for you on the other end of this break. Back here in Henderson, where the Mecca have just defeated Knueppel crew by a score of 76-69, and we have the luxury and privilege of chatting with the man who single-handedly willed the Mecca to this victory, Marvell Harris. Marvell, congratulations on the performance. What a game.
You know, we've been working hard. All the guys believe in each other. We believe in the staff, and, you know, it feels good to come out here and get a win.
How big was the hoop for you? I mean, you had every single point in the Elam ending. Was that part of the strategy, is get Marvell going? Because you were red hot.
I think once I made the first one, the guys kind of like, they wanted me to get the ball. So, you know, they kept finding me. They kept giving me opportunities, and I just converted. You know, they believed in me. And when you got those guys believing in you, it's easy to do.
Let's take a look at like some of the highlights that you had there. We saw Casper Ware connect, and then you had the ball back from Nevels, who could have pulled up for 3 on his very own with the way he was shooting, but you were wide open and you splashed it through the rim.
Yeah, I mean, just him giving me that ball back, you know, that shows how much they believed in me and how much they wanted me to take that shot. So I appreciate G for the pass, you know, and the best thing you can do is give a guy an assist. So.
Yeah, Marvell, Coach talked about how many weapons you guys have on this team. I think it showed today. Cass only had 5 points. You had 21. You blew up in the second, blew up in the Elam ending. How do you guys go about talking about sharing the ball, whose turn it is? Is that just a feel? Is it something that you guys discuss in between games?
I mean, to be honest, I think it's kind of just like we come out, you know, we usually like to start, you know, getting the ball inside, whether that's a drive, you know, a post up, and first few minutes you kind of see who has a feel and who has it going, and everybody on this team can hoop. So once we see somebody going, we have great guys, you know, great teammates. Just like when I got hot, guys give me the ball. So I think we kind of just do that the whole game. We go with the hot man, and we all believe in each other, so it's easy to do.
21 points on 7 for 15 shooting, 3 for 5 from beyond the arc, all 8 points in the Elam ending. Congratulations on the performance. Before we let you go, any shout-outs to anybody back home, anybody you wanted to recognize?
Let me shout out, you know, the Inland Empire, all my people back there, you know, my family, my mom, wife, son, Messiah, my daughter, Milan. I can keep going all day, but if you know, you know. I love you guys.
I got one last question for you before you go. Y'all are called the Mecca now. I'm older. I'm 37, 36, right? The Mecca is New York.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, state your case. The Mecca is now L.A. Talk to me.
Hey, man, you know, I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but, you know, we all know New York as a Mecca, and I think, you know, it's kind of a respect thing. So I'm not going to say anything on camera, but we can have a chat after.
It shows on the court, man. Yeah. Congrats on the win.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, folks, the great Marvell Harris. We're going to send it to break, and we'll be back to wrap it up on the other side. The score thus far, and finally, the Mecca 76, Knueppel Crew 69. Back here in Henderson, welcome back as the final score, the Mecca 76-69. My name's Christian Filliman alongside Jordan Taylor. What a game we have had thus far. Let's take a look at the bracket and how things are starting to stack up here as we're getting to the nitty-gritty of the TBT. There you see it. With that win against Knueppel Crew, the Mecca will be taking on Davis Steel. That game's going to be Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on FS1. And then tomorrow, we're going to have a really hot contest as the Gotham City Bockers take on Red Rose War Ready. That game's at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the winner of that game is going to take on Heartfire Elites. And we're getting closer and closer to the semifinals, closer and closer to the finals, closer and closer to determine who's going to run away with $2 million. Oh, my gosh. Jordan, talk about your thoughts on the bracket and these teams that we've seen in Vegas thus far.
Yeah, well, Red Rose War Ready and Gotham City Bockers is going to be a good one. But Davis Steele in the Mecca, that's going to be a fun game to watch. The Mecca is just heating up. Again, Casper Ware Jr. talked about they're finding their rhythm. They were practicing together, not much, getting more and more here as the tournament goes on. But Davis Steele is that favorite over here. Heartfire Elite, of course, has a lot of firepower as well. And either way, it's going to be a tall task to go on the road at the end of this to the alumni side and get that win. But I'm excited to be here with you, Philly, and see how it plays out.
Absolutely. We've been blessed to have some great games here. And let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule on FS1. As we mentioned it, Red Rose War Ready going to take on the Gotham City Bockers. And the melee in the Midwest is Kansas Alumni take on Wichita State Alumni. That game is going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, also on FS1. Now the cream is truly rising to the top. For Jordan Taylor, I'm Christian Filliman saying good night from the beautiful M Resort Spa and Casino. More TBT action comes your way on FS1 tomorrow as the action continues from Vegas with Red Rose War Ready and Gotham City Bockers. Then Kansas travels to Wichita State for the alumni semifinal to see who gets to face Kentucky. The final score here tonight in Henderson, 76 the Mecca, 69 Knueppel Crew. Enjoy the rest of your night. Happy Sunday Fun Day and have a productive week.